Right now in our Christian community, we're taking time to study the disciplines. We're talking about these ancient practices that church folks have done, like study and prayer and silence and service, that they've done all through the ages. And the reason that people do these things and believers have practiced these things is because it's so easy to forget the story that we're part of. It's so easy to forget who God is and who we are and why we're supposed to be here and what we're supposed to be doing. Paul claimed in Romans 12 that we live in a world that's constantly pressing us with stories other than God's story, that we're not to be conformed to this world, but be transformed by renewing the way that we think about life. And that word conform means to be pressed in. It's so easy for our world and circumstances and people that we know and our own failures and all kind of stuff that happens in life to sort of press us into thinking in a way that's not really appropriate, that isn't really true. And so we have to intentionally learn ways to connect with the story and allow God's story about who He is and who we are to transform and to change who we are or how we approach life. Well, the way that we do this is through the disciplines. But one of the most important ones is this business of solitude. Solitude's kind of like the foundation of all the other disciplines because it deals with this idea of pulling aside, pulling away from human contact and from the noise of the world to sort of think through and remember who we are. It's in places of solitude where you get kind of private. Jesus said if you, when you pray, will go to a private spot and to sort of close the door, that God who sees in those private places would actually reward you openly in your life. It's very important to pull aside in private places. There you can pray with focus. There maybe you can study or worship. Whatever it is that you do there isn't as important as the fact that you actually pull aside in these private places. When you do, it'll help you remember the story and remember who you are and allow you to be and fulfill all that God dreamed. Pull aside, find places of solitude, and God will meet you there.